Saludos Amigos. Hey guys, welcome back to the Bucket Think Tank. So, today's movie Saludos Amigos, and its sequel, The Three Caballeros. This is sort of interesting. So, in 1941, Disney goes down to South America as part of a good neighbor policy to get a film shown in North, Central, and South America, Central and South America, as well as to avoid the animator strike. Disney and Co. go down to South America and, they make Saludos Amigos. And it is a educational film with cartoons in it. And that's fine. But again, if you're looking for something with a bit more pizzazz, a bit more of a story, more of a central character going from point A to point B to point C, you got the narrator. But ultimately, I think Saludos Amigos is serviceable. It's fine. It's educational. So it doesn't have to be that amazing. You're supposed to come out of it knowing more leaving it than you did when you went into it. And I think it does that job. Although how much I remember from that is anyone's guess. But overall, we had some fun stories. We have Donald as the tourist. He comes in, all set to enjoy and learn from this culture. He has a fun adventure with a llama and a kid with a flute. And, pan flute. Thank you, South Park, for telling me about the pan flute. Overall, Donald's story is fun. I think the best story here is with Pedro, little airplane. I think it's just great. The mountain is great. This whole battle, and the narrator's at his most fun here with that. It's just great. Goofy as the gaucho, or learning to be a gaucho, I think is all right at the end of it all. It's not the most exciting thing. It's something he's done before. Like Donald as the tourist was primarily done for obvious reasons. Watching bad things happen, Donald is the premise of it. Who gets stuck with all the bad luck? No one but Donald Duck. That's his thing. That's how it works for him. But also it works because, no matter what language he tries to speak, no one's really gonna hear him. It works on levels. And then, of course, we have, I think, the best thing about Saludos Amigos is the introduction of Joe Carioca, Jose Carioca. It all depends on who's saying it. So, I like Jose. He's such a fun character. He's the epitome of, Disney smooth. From the hat, to the suit, to the umbrella, to the later cigar. Let him keep the cigar, Disney. I know you won't, but let him keep the cigar. Alright? He is so... He's possibly one of the coolest Disney Toon characters. Right? Not the coolest, that's still Scrooge McDuck and I'll down this hill. Although technically, depending on who you ask, he's not a Disney Toon character, but that's a whole other issue in itself. Overall, Saludos Amigos is an alright adventure. Now its sequel, The Three Caballeros, that's where the magic's at. So the reason I called it a sequel is because not only is one after the other, this is to celebrate Donald's 10th anniversary, technically his 10th birthday, but an anniversary. And it's from his friends in South America. I'm like, okay, so we're acknowledging that he has friends in South America. We're talking about fans in South America? Well, then Jose shows up. And while Jose is a fan, as shown in Saludos Amigos, they mention that they've met each other. Like, Donald knows who he is. I'm like, okay, so this is, for all intents and purposes, a sequel. All right? And I think this one's more fun. There's less animation, there's less narrator through it. And again, with the narrator, it's your mileage may vary with the narrator. This one here is because it's through films. Donald is watching the movie, so we're watching Donald watch the movie. Technically, we're just watching the movie with Donald. And I think these shorts are, a lot stronger. They're not relying on another character. Like, for example, further seeing South American culture, we have Donald and Goofy to show us that. Like, well, let's just not do that. Let's just make the whole thing original, all right? So we have the cold-hearted penguin who's tired of living in a frozen wasteland and wants to go to the beaches, and his adventure is fun and sort of heartfelt, like you're rooting for the little guy. But if you really want to root for someone, Gauchito, little Gauchito, and his journey to finding Burrito, the little flying donkey. I love that story, and the narration is perfect. It's also like the narrator looking back on his life when he found Burrito. I'm like, love it, and that's great. That's great. And then we have another story into the different birds of South America. I thought that was interesting, primarily because of this. And I have a friend who loves this scene, so we're doing it for her. Play the clip. Fed a stupid fellow. But then Jose comes back in and he's bringing the smooth. He's bringing the coach. He's bringing the cool, all right? And he's great. He's happy to see Donald. And that's when the movie really sort of becomes something different. Okay, like, look, here's something we should have done from the get-go. Let's just go there. No, no one wants to see people go anywhere, all right? They want to see Disney characters go where the people are. You know? We want to be where the people are. So Donald and Jose go to Bahia, all right? And they meet Yaya, all right? She sells cookies, my friend. And then the whole movie just changes to just like seeing all these different musicians and dancers, and Donald and Jose are just having the time of their life. And okay, where's the education? Well, you just saw that. Fine, you want more? Fine. Bring in Panchito. And Panchito comes in. He's like, y'all gonna learn about Mexico today. Y'all gonna learn. All right? Talking about Posadas and like the origin of the piñata, I think is what was supposed to be told there. And it's fine. It was great. But, at the end of the day, it's still the original musical, the musical number that's the namesake of the movie, the Three Caballeros. And it is just fun. We're three caballeros, three gay caballeros. They say we are birds of a feather. And, Panchito has some issues, like, gun-toting, screaming Mexican, There's a rooster, too, so I think it's fine. This feels to me like, originally Disney would put a disclaimer on Disney Plus, like, hey, if you're watching this, there might be some, interpretations, some, representations that you might find offensive. It's all done and good. No one cares. No one cares. This is like Speedy Gonzalez, all right? They love him, all right? They have their own resort. Coronado Springs, beautiful resort, lovely atmosphere, all right? Lovely, all right? And to be fair, if there's one critique I have to give to Three Caballeros, is that at some point, after all the different places they go and the same, after, the dancing and the singing, and it then becomes a bit more intimate. So the whole, hey, we have animated characters interacting with real people, that sort of fades away to a string of musical numbers, which you would probably find in Fantasia. Like, it sort of gives the Fantasia vibe at some point. And my problem is, to me, it just kind of stops the movie. Like, when I was younger, and, I listened to Jose sing Bahia, I remember fast forwarding through that song as a kid. I'm like, no, I don't care. It's not fun. Now I love that song. So now, while I like that song, I still just kind of zone out by the end of it, because it's just Donald going through all these very good and creative performances. I didn't realize until researching this that the last song that they play is performed is one of the songs about the Mexican Revolution. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I'm no expert on this, so I'm like, oh, that's great. And looking back on it, that part is fun, but the lines we took to get to that, I just kind of like. And of course, the ending is great. There's a lot of energy to it. Ultimately, Three Caballeros is fun. Three Caballeros is great. We have three great ensemble characters that I don't think, again, they don't. I think the sort of joke I like best about Three Caballeros is that Donald on some level, feels that he plays second fiddle to them. But Jose and Panchito love Donald. All right, they think he's the star. They're very like, look, Donald is the main man. We are his backup. That's it. Donald doesn't feel that way because he's Donald. And, we see them in D17. They had their own little. It was a short. They didn't have a TV series. And they've been in the comics. Jose and Panchito are very popular for their own respective countries. So it works. They came out on top. Ultimately, if you want more direct, hey, education, and with the comedy or the cartoons being second, I'd go Saludos Amigos. If you want something that sort of tries to do a better blend of the two, as well as with a bit more creativity, especially at the end. Like, love or hate that stuff at the end. It's creative, very in line with the same company that does Fantasia, so it works. I would give Three Caballeros a shot. That's just my 2 cents on it. Overall, still fun. So anyway, with that, much brings to a close. If you're new to the Bucket Think Tank, feel like, comment, share, subscribe. Who's your favorite member of Three Caballeros? Donald, Jose, Panchito? It's Jose, because you got skill. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. I'll catch you all later. This is Bucket Think Tank signing off. Thanks for watching. As always, may your fandom serve you well.